Hi, I'm making a video about social anxiety and my experience of it. I might have mentioned in an earlier vlog, because I'm making like a series, that to deal with my social anxiety, I signed up for a extracurricular activity type thing at my college, except it turned out to be no students, only like the administration is involved, which is kind of cool, but I mean, not obviously what is ideal in my situation, but it could still work. Oh, and it also only meets once every 2 weeks, which is also not ideal. So I've been considering going to volunteer somewhere where I can have a more hands-on thing. But anyway, so nobody was here today. Nobody showed up. Or wait, well, one other woman showed up today who got some like dates missing or something. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't seem very well organized. the the um, administration school thing that I kind of like, they kind of like legally have to have like a student involved, so that's what I'm doing. And so I'm talking about my experience of, oh yeah, I'm talking about my experience with this lady that I just talked to. And it's like I experienced, I was pretty cool for the most part, because it's just me and her, so it's kind of like a lot easier just to, you know, and one thing that, a point that came up is, so I'm sitting here and I'm talking to her, and so I'm doing this gesture, because I started doing this after a while, like crack, crack, fidget, fidget, which, because especially when I'm sitting down, it's easier and totally fine just to sit still. Like when I'm standing, it's kind of a bit more tricky, because like if you just stand frozen, you kind of look afraid, and then people, kind of get afraid of you, and then you get more afraid. The whole social anxiety thing. But when I'm sitting down, it's like totally cool just to sit like this, or maybe not hands in front. That looks a little bit too, I would say, a little bit too. Makes me look kind of anxious if I'm like too, like that. So I did this, and I just kind of sat back like this, and what has helped me again with social anxiety is to like take an interest in the conversation, and really like be interested in whatever I need to be interested in. This lady actually isn't just like an older lady. She actually does know a lot of interesting things about how the academic system works, and about how also we talked about government, because she asked me, a very practical question, a question that I'm going to tuck in my uncooperative pocket here and keep with me. And that question is, she asked me, what are you majoring in? And I said, political science. And so she just told me some stuff about political science, which was a very cool way to start a conversation, I thought, on her part. And so that led into me just, kind of bothering her with questions about the way the government system works in Tucson, and just, yeah, so, and there was information that I had about the city, like the roads are bad, the north is a lot richer than the other parts of the city, and so just asking her questions about what she told me, and I could tell kind of partway through that she was like, she kind of wanted to go, and she didn't really want to stay, because nobody's here, she didn't want to just stay forever and talk with me, but, it's kind of like okay for her to kind of get like that, because it's kind of like on her to assert herself and leave. If it went on too long, then I would kind of have to be like, well, I've bothered you long enough. Gotta get out of here now. But she took that part and cut off the conversation and left, and that's when I started to get kind of anxious, because the goodbyes are they're very scripted, and it's hard for me to like go through that exchange without feeling. I guess I haven't really looked into how I feel in goodbyes, but that's definitely come up in my social experience. Talking to one person while other people are there is difficult for me, and then of course talking with young girls is difficult, or I don't want to go on a list, but my experience of myself in goodbyes is definitely something for me to look into specifically and see like what. I don't really remember it right now because I didn't make a note of it, but there was one moment where she like, because I kind of had to say goodbye like several times, like as she's like moving towards the door, I had to be like, bye, and then she said bye, and then we exchanged a few more words, and then she's like says bye again because she doesn't want to just turn her back on me and leave. And so I kind of had to say bye again, but it was really subdued because like saying it twice is kind of like makes it look kind of like awkward and like whatever. It's something very interesting about people is that how if you say something and then someone doesn't hear you and you have to say it again, people get mad really fast. They like, for some interesting reason, that really fucking bothers people when they have to, you have to like say the exact same thing. So that seems to be related to my experience of being uncomfortable and in saying goodbye and feeling like she's gonna feel like my second goodbye is contrived and ingenuine, and so then kind of like freezing up. And another body posture, changing the subject, that I did was this. This is a very, I guess, normal, something where somewhere just to put my hands, I guess it's also kind of like, hiding the face a bit, but just putting my hand here and kind of rubbing my chin a bit while she's talking. It's a good normal person body thing, so that I'm not, constantly moving and doing this kind of a thing and stuff like that. I was for a minute I was leaning back in my chair like this, but that kind of seemed like I wanted to distance myself from her, so I put it down, and then people are like walking by the window here, kind of a little bit of a reaction of like, oh, they might see that I'm talking to myself. They're hardly even noticing me. Another thing I did was like massaging my, I think they're called my trapezius muscles. This is kind of a bit strange. I like to put my hands down the back of my shirt and like touch my body. That's a little bit strange. I suppose it's fine though. It does look a bit stressed, doesn't it? And I guess that's long enough for a anxiety video. Okay. Bye.